We're
Here we
live.
are. We're live. First episode of the Ragebait Cowboys. I'd like to go ahead and say for everybody tuning in, our guest has unfortunately canceled. The weather in New York is
Yeah, what
super
a
bad.
fucking
So
pussy.
um, we
The
love him
weather in New
and we'll get
York.
him back on hopefully in a couple episodes. But we'll go ahead and move into everything. Larry, I'll let you take us off with where we want to start.
Yeah, so
Obviously,
we'll
a
just
lot to
jump
break
right
down.
into it. Yeah, it was a great main event to start or to end the night. It was honestly the fight of the night too. Um, biggest surprises for me were the robberies to
Yeah.
Song and Rose.
Man.
Absolute fucking bullshit, bro.
So the Rose fight was a robbery, but in my opinion, I think that Sean won that fight. I think that he was wearing on Song. He did more damage. Sean is a championship fighter, so in a 5 round fight, he would have tore Song apart in rounds 4 and 5, and I think he was wearing on him. I think the damage speaks for itself. Um, I mean, I see the
Well, it
leg
wasn't
kicks.
a 5 round fight.
It was not a 5 round
It
fight, but
wasn't
I
a
had it
five
two to
round
one.
fight.
I had it 2-1. I'd like to know what rounds you had.
Round one was Songs.
Okay.
Round two was Songs. The only round that Sean got off in was round three. That's where he got all his damage done, was round three.
Oh, 100%. That was the best round of the fight. But I did give Sean round two. I think that's where we're different. Pretty close. One of the scorecards had it pretty far off, and I don't agree with that. It should have been a split decision, in my opinion. And I thought it
Agreed. I
was
do agree with that.
that's what the robbery is. Just making it unanimous is unbelievable. It wasn't a UD; it was a split decision. And I thought it could have went either way, but I thought that Sean did a little bit more.
That
That's
was
the
also the
UFC's
same
golden
for the
boy.
Song or the Rose fight.
Rose
It
got
was a
fucking pumped.
unanimous decision.
Yeah,
It
I
shouldn't
was
have been a unanimous decision at all.
I was so sure that she won the fight. I even told everybody here I was like, "Your bets are safe," because they've been on Rose, and I was like, "You guys are good." She won that fight easily, and sure enough, robbery of the year so far, in my opinion. I feel bad for Rose because I don't know what's next for her. This would have been a huge way for her to kind of move back into that title picture, and this is a massive setback. So it's going to be very challenging. Rose was very big after COVID, the head kick over Whaley, and then it's been kind of a fall off ever since. So I would like to see her get back on track, but this is going to be a real step down in competition for her. So I'm curious to see who they match her up against next.
Who do you think they're going to match her up against next?
I don't know. Silva was an up and comer, really young, really good. Couldn't deny that, and I think that Rose needs a fight that's maybe even more winnable so she can bounce back. And I mean, I thought she won the fight, so I don't even know why we're having the conversation. It shouldn't have been a robbery like this. She got kind of fucked. So
Definitely. She got fucked in the ass for sure.
because
My Pookie Rose.
she's lost two of the last three. She lost to Blanchfield and she lost to Silva. She beat Miranda Maverick by decision, but it's been a bad streak for a while now. Our records went to 15-8, and Rose. Hopefully, she can build momentum this year and come back towards the end. So maybe be in the title picture next year, but it's definitely a setback. Like you said,
I think she
robbery of the
should fight
year.
the. I think she should fight the judges next. I think that's what's next for Rose.
100%, bro. No, she needs to find my sports booker, bro. That was yeah, that was a robbery. And like I said, the song fight was kind of close. I don't think it's as much of a robbery as that fight. I think those are two different
It
types of
wasn't as
robbery.
much of a robbery, but it was definitely a robbery in my opinion. I had Song 2-1.
I don't think so, man. If you go watch it back, I think I don't know,
Just the
maybe.
third round. It was just the fucking third round.
Are
That's
you
all. That's
are you
all he got.
are you part Asian, Larry?
Yes, I am.
See that
What's that
might
got to do
actually
with
be why,
anything?
bro.
What
See,
do you got to say about Asians?
I'm part Suga, so that's why I was going for the Sugar Show. Um, I mean, maybe the commentary was favoring Sean, and also I'm in the house full of Americans that want Sean to win, so maybe it was biased. So maybe I'll watch it back and see if I have the same opinion.
Bunch of weak ass Americans you got over there.
That's another thing we had too tonight. We had a lot of biased commentary. Or last night, the Patty commentary was very biased as well. They were giving Patty a lot more credit in certain situations, and to make it look like a close fight, and it wasn't a close fight. It was a great fight, but it wasn't a close fight. Justin won that fight very easily, and the commentary was very high on Patty. So
Well,
we
that'll
started
lead
watching
us into
the
our
commentary.
that'll lead us into our next segment here. What were your give us a deep dive on the main event?
The deep dive on the main event, not what I expected. I'm not saying I didn't expect a good fight. I did not expect a war like that. Um, at this point, and I had this conversation last night. I think Justin Gaethje is probably the king of violence, the most exciting fighter to ever walk this planet. I mean, he just went 15 for 15 on bonuses. I've never seen a boring Justin Gaethje fight. Immediately starting off with the knockdown, he took away Patty's momentum, took away a little bit of his confidence. But Patty was just so fucking tough, man. I had no idea Patty was a dog like that. He went toe to toe with Justin, and I didn't think that would happen. I thought he would shoot desperately a couple times, and if they run this fight back, I'm curious to see how it goes without the eye poke at the end of the second round and all the damage that it caused. They almost stopped the fight at the end of the second round. Patty got that thumb in the eye, and then kind of fell against the cage and got pounded into the canvas. And it kind of looked for a second he was really bad days, and they were gonna like call it off. And then the eye poke was bad because you could see the discolor in the eye. Um, and that leads me to believe that Tom Aspinall is a pussy and Patty Pimblett is a fucking G, bro. Because honestly, I probably would have took the easy way out because he got poked bad. It was a thumb in the eye. It wasn't even just a finger. It was a fucking full on thumb just right in his eye. And, still went out there, went toe to toe with Justin. Justin did an insane amount of damage, which is what he's good at. Um, and now you got to look at you got Gaethje and Taporia. That's a whole other fight. That's probably going to be on the White House, and then you're going to have Patty and Armin Sarukian, I would assume, or Patty and Dan Hooker, since there's beef there. So this main event, I feel like everybody's stock went up, even Patty's. I'm still high on Patty. I respect Patty more than I did before. And there's a lot of big fights that are going to come from this, and I'm curious to see if Taporia can come back this year and give Justin that chance to make that undisputed. So,
All right, all right.
what
Well,
about
I
your thoughts?
personally, I expected Patty to actually finish Justin Gaethje in 3 rounds. I was expecting that.
I could have seen it.
I wasn't expecting this to go 5 rounds at all. But Gaethje just both of them are dogs. I'll give him that. But Gaethje just outdogged Patty,
He did, bro.
completely outdogged Patty.
Did you notice the snap down, the head snap downs he kept doing
Oh yeah,
to the front headlock position? He was really trying to wear on him and beat him up. And yeah, just I was not expecting this game plan from Justin.
I think regardless of the eye pokes are a big thing. They were, but I think regardless, I think Gaethje would have got it done.
Yeah, I guess you look great. You can't take
Yeah,
that away from him. Just how do you think anything would have changed without the end of that second round, the major eye poke, and then the damage that came after it?
not really. I really think Gaethje would have got it done either way.
Yeah,
I
Gaethje
think
looked
I
great.
think he was in control that most of that fight. Let me look back here. Yeah, I had it 4-1 Gaethje.
Yeah,
I had
I
Patty
had
winning in 1 round.
I had a 4-1, maybe 3-2, but probably 4-1. If I was
Yeah,
going to say,
one of them was close, but overall
yeah,
I had it 4-1. Um,
the damage was more. And I was surprised at how well Patty ate his punches and didn't get fucking slept. He just sat there and traded with him, and honestly,
oh
just
yeah.
took a lot of damage. I'm sure Patty's going to be off for a little while. Um, I'm sure medical suspensions, things like that, because he took an insane amount of damage. I believe it was like 200 strikes at least.
Um, Justin Gaethje can't fight like that when he's fighting Ilya.
No, fuck no.
He's gonna get fucked up if he fights exactly like he did against Patty. But I guess that was just part of the game plan. It was a good game plan versus Patty, but against Ilya, that's
Well,
not gonna slide. He's gonna get fucking clipped
I'm
against Ilya.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think they changed their game plan at all. I think that it's Justin
He should
Gaethje. Justin Gaethje's gonna go in there and try to fucking go blow for blow with Topuria.
just put his
Um,
last remaining brain cell into it.
I mean, all if he can eat Taporia's best punch and get him in a world of trouble, I mean anything's possible. But I'm gonna have to take Taporia in that one.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
easily taking Taporio. But after Patty takes some time off, who do you have him fighting next?
like I said, I think I just recently heard last night rumors. I don't know if they're true, but I heard Dan Hooker's out of his fight next weekend. Um, and if that's the case, then maybe down the line, depending on what's wrong with Dan Hooker versus Patty. I mean, you saw the online beef; it got pretty
Oh yeah,
nasty. So you're talking about good good promotion. That's going to be exciting. The build up that could main event a fight night, and Patty's home turf, or even in Hooker's, where you could put that on any pay per view main card at like the third slot. I think either that or Armin Sarukian, but I think Armin's waiting out for the title. I think Armin will more likely fight the winner of Taporia and Gaethje. If I
I'd
had to
love to
guess.
see Patty versus either Max or Charles Oliveira.
Mm. Oh man,
I'd love to see either one of those fights versus Patty. That'd be entertaining.
I would like to see the Oliveira matchup more. I think Max Holloway would give Patty some problems. I think if Gaethje did that much damage, I think that Max Holloway could inflict a lot as well on the feet. It just comes down
Okay.
to game plan. I wonder why they didn't shoot more takedowns, and I'm glad that Patty chose to go toe to toe and bang with Justin. But if he would have shot earlier, got Justin to the ground, and just kind of out grappled him, he would have wore on Justin. Justin's not got the best submission defense, and probably finished the fight. But he made a sacrifice, and I guess he gave the fans a show instead. So respect to him. But Patty and Oliveira is interesting because obviously Oliveira's got the most submissions in UFC history, but Patty is a great grappler as well.
Agreed.
On the feet, it would be more competitive. Like I said, right now, if Patty doesn't make adjustments, I think that Holloway would kind of do the same thing that Justin just did, very similar.
Yeah.
But those
Alrighty.
matchups are
Well,
great, honestly. I like those matchups.
what
So
would
there's
you
a
give?
lot.
What would you give the main event out of five?
Giving it a 5 all day.
You're giving it a five.
Because bro, it's the pacing for me. The fight started off insane. And I'm like, okay, one of these rounds, it's going to slow down. There's going to be some clinch, and there's going to be something to kind of slow the pace. It never slowed down. Dirty boxing the whole time, absolutely grueling pace. The only thing that even slowed down the fights for a small period of time was the head snap downs from Gaethje, and then kind of stalled in this position, but for a very short amount of time. And Patty would work his way back up, and it just it never slowed down. It never stopped. They sat there and traded over 5 fucking rounds. I believe Justin broke his all-time strike record in a 5 round
He
fight.
did.
It's a
I
lot for
think they
Justin
both did.
Gaethje, and that's a lot for Justin Gaethje, bro. After everything he's been through, everybody's fought all the 5 round fights. This was the fight he broke that record. Um, that's going to be tough to top this year. Like I told you, I think it's going to be really hard because it's going to take a 5 round fight to top this. So automatically, that pool is slimmer. There's a lot of 3 round fights, but not 5 round fights. And you know, we'll see what else happens this
We got
year.
a five-round fight next week.
We got that's we're just going to dominate Volk and take the
Our boy
title. But we'll
Diego's
go
gonna
there.
fuck Volk up, buddy.
I know, matching T-shirts.
But I give this main event a. I'm not that far off with you. I gave it a 4.5 out of five.
Oh man. Uh,
But all right, we'll move into our
what
next
took
segment
away?
here.
So
Oh,
what took away the 0.5?
it just wasn't.
What more did you want?
It was a very lopsided war, you could say, in my opinion. I think Justin Gaethje dominated that fight through and through.
Yeah, I do
That's
think
what
that's
that's what takes it a little bit away from me. It's because it wasn't a back and forth, in my opinion. I feel like Gaethje clearly
yeah.
won that fight,
So that
even with the eye pokes and all that. You take away the eye pokes and stuff, I think Gaethje still wins that fight. But yeah, still a
unfortunately,
solid main event. A solid main event. It
I
was a
agree.
good way to start the Paramount era. I think it was great.
If you were a new fan, and a couple people text me on Facebook that have never watched the UFC, and they're like, "We tuned in tonight. It was a great show. Like that was amazing. That main event was crazy." And that's got to be a great way to start off. Being a new fan, seeing something like that, because you could have easily got like a snooze fest or something like that. And that's not a great introduction to the sport. This is a great way to kick it off. For the people that just tuned in on Paramount, the sport's more accessible. in the United States. And honestly, it couldn't have went better for the UFC in terms of the main event.
All right, all right. Let's move into our next segment then. Co-main breakdown. Give us your thoughts on the co-main.
I didn't see the robbery that you saw. I thought Sean took it. I do think though, if Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes was not on this card and got canceled, this would have automatically been the co-main event, and it would have been 5 rounds. Um, I think the only thing that made this fight not as good as it could have been is the fact that it was a 3 round fight. I think we needed 5 rounds for this. And I think that's where Sean would have really picked up the pace and possibly finish Song in rounds 4 or 5. What is your thoughts? I mean, obviously you think it was a robbery. You're part Asian,
It
which
was straight
like,
fucking bullshit. I'll tell you this.
it wasn't that. I'm gonna pull up
Song
the
won the
stats.
first 2 rounds of this fight. Or wait. Yeah, Song won the first 2 rounds of this fight. Suga teed off in the third round. I'll give him that. He really dominated that third round, but I
The
don't
knees,
think it was enough to make up for the 2 rounds that Song was winning. That's just what it is. That's
you
just
know,
how it goes sometimes. Dana wants to get his precious little golden pony his opportunities.
look. I'm gonna see how Verdict scored it. Verdict is
Fuck verdict, bro. I don't give a fuck about no goddamn verdict. I have my own eyes, bro. I am the verdict, bro.
yeah. So they scored at the Sean barely 28-28, small differential.
Yeah, it's bullshit in my opinion.
Close fight, man. Split decision. Definitely not unanimous. I'm not disagreeing with that. Um, Either way, though, Sean got the dub. So we got to talk about what's next for Sean. Um, Obviously, there's a name out there that a friend of mine does not want to see Sean fight because it's also a terrible matchup. But it's going to be Umar. Umar and Sean at the White House. And Sean is in a tough division when it comes to grappling. And he even got taken down a few times by Song. And Song's not, a tremendous grappler by any means. So if Sean fights Umar at the White House, that's going to be very, very challenging.
It'll be a very boring fight. I'll give you that.
I think Umar can put on exciting fights. I
No,
think Figgy didn't come to play, man. I mean, Figueredo did not.
Umar is not exciting in the slightest, in my opinion.
How many Umar fights do you watch live, though? Don't even cap me. Just this one?
Huh?
How many Umar fights have you watched live?
I don't probably his last however many he's had in the UFC. I've seen him live. How many fights has he had in the UFC?
Can't be many. Maybe 7.
Yeah, yeah, I've probably watched them all. He's not an exciting fighter
I
by
like
any
Umar,
means.
but if it's not a competitive fight, like you said, it's just not going to be very exciting. And I expected more from Figueredo being a former champ, and coming in missing weight as well, 2 pounds over, and still kind of got bullied and didn't make it competitive. That fight was probably the most underwhelming on the card. Um, Aside from honestly the Derek Lewis loss, that was definitely the biggest disappointment of the night for me. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, the Lewis fight was fucking terrible.
yeah, it's not the fight was terrible, man, but Derek, man, I don't know. Derek's so fucking hot or cold, bro. I hate that, man. He just kind of covered it up. That sucks because Derek had big things on the horizon, like the White House, and you know, I just don't see him going on that card now. That was very disappointing. Trump wasn't happy about that shit.
I think Gautier versus Puliev
Yeah.
and Rose versus Silva were my two least favorite fights of the night.
Oh, yeah. Roser Silva. And you said Gautier?
Yeah,
And
Gautier. That dude was just not ready to. I don't know how he won that fight.
if he can't knock you the fuck out, yeah, he kind of he showed that he doesn't have as much skill as you'd hope.
He
He's
had to
still,
he had to cut down a lot, didn't he?
yeah.
He's a big motherfucker fighting
Dude,
that goddamn middleweight. I'll
we
tell you
call
that.
we call him Mini Nagano. I mean, he looks like fucking Francis, bro, and he
He's
hits
a
like
big dude.
and
I was hoping for more out of him, but
I mean,
he didn't bring that. Puliev was kind of all over the place. He was He surprised me a little bit.
He was spamming a body kick,
Oh
and
yeah,
honestly, he did better than any other opponents for Ateba. And Ateba, the hype train is just kind of like at a standstill. So his next fight, we'll see if he gets back up there. Everybody expected a first round KO. I'm pretty sure the odds makers had it very, highly likely to end the first round by KO for Ateba, and that didn't happen. He landed a couple good knockdowns, but he couldn't finish him. This motherfucker had a chin, and
yeah, for sure.
he seemed to struggle when he couldn't get him out of there. Kind of blew his wad a little bit. Third round, I think he lost, but he won a close decision. Again, not my favorite fight on the card by any means.
Okay, well that'll move us into our next segment here. What was your fight of the night and your performances of the night?
My fight of the night is going to be definitely the main event. Main
I
event, got to
agree.
get to it. Usually it doesn't go that way all the time, but you can't deny it. Main event was fight of the night. Performance of the night. There was a couple people in the prelims I really liked. Maybe Krylov, but second that, Lord Silva. I mean, Lord Silva against R.L. Allen, another fight that should have been 5 rounds, maybe the main event of a fight night. I mean, that was going to be a very exciting fight. It really started picking up in the second round, and Silva looked amazing. I mean, he looked really good. His
Agreed.
strike is beautiful. Arnold Allen is way up there.
A
Um,
dog.
I believe he was number 5, so now Silva's going to take his spot. Silva's only lost to Diego in the UFC, and Silva's one of those people that's going to be around this division for a very long time. When Volk's gone, him and
Dude
Diego,
is a fucking psychopath.
dude, he's crazy. When he jumped on his back, bro, I was like, no fucking, like, I would not dap him up after, bro. If I was Arnold, I would have smacked his ass.
He's like this generation's Tony Ferguson.
Dude,
Just
he's
a
some,
fucking psychopath.
dude, he's on a different level of crazy, bro. I don't think Tony Ferguson had autism like this.
He definitely, bro, he was kicking metal poles and shit for fun.
But you got Silva just running around barking, bruh, just fucking crying over the belt. Everybody's seen the video of him screaming and crying over the belt.
Yeah. He wasn't even fighting for the belt. He was crying.
My friend that was in here, he literally said, I thought this was a title fight. Wasn't he crying over the belt? Dude, but honestly, I respect it. He's just a crazy motherfucker, man. He's scary. He's actually terrifying, bro. When he fought Diego, and obviously Diego's my favorite fighter. In round 2, he was giving Diego a shit ton of problems. He could have KO'd Diego. It was 50-50, and he honestly Diego landed first, but they're gonna run that fight back in the future. They're both very young in that division. I'm sure we'll see them fight again before it's all said and done. So. John, I don't know what's next. I mean, you're looking at featherweight, top 5. There's some big matchups up there. I don't know. Obviously, I think he needs to wait for any sort of title shot, anything like that. It's way too soon. I know they kind of gave one to Diego pretty quick, but I think Silva should fight like a Leron Murphy or Mosvar. Those are good fights. So,
Gotcha.
what was
All right, well,
your
my fight of the night, it's got to be Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, but the honorable mention is John Silva versus Arnold Allen. Those two
absolutely?
fights go hand in hand with each other, in my opinion, but got to give the edge over to Justin Gaethje. My performance of the night, no surprise, John Silva. And then, but there's a second one, second performance of the night, Ty Miller. To open up the card, Ty Miller.
That
Fucking
was a good
dog.
start. That was a good start, man.
Great star. I like this guy. And this will lead into our next segment here, the stock up, Ty Miller. I think
Honestly,
his stock's up.
7-0 right now, and honestly, first fight on the Paramount era. Great way to start it off. Great way to start it off. Um, get your shit together. And then, obviously, Ty Miller. I'm a Ty, so he represented us very well. And that was, one of the was it 3 or 4 fights that we had buzzer beaters to start
I
off the
think it was
first.
like 3. I think there was 3.
Yeah, one was at the end of the third round, but it was still within the last 10
Yeah,
seconds.
I think that was the Krylov fight.
Yeah, the Ty Miller fight was at the last second of the first
Oh yeah.
round. Just crazy,
Well,
man. Crazy way to start off the prelims.
oh yeah. And another person that's got honorable mention here, even though he lost, Song Yudong. His
Let
stock is up in my opinion. I think he should have won that fight. But
mm.
either way, I think his next fight he's gonna come out swinging again. He's young, he's hungry. I think he's gonna be here for a while.
Oh yeah, Song's dangerous, man. I mean, Sean's a amazing striker. Sean Song was doing really good at the leg kicks and the overhands, and kind of getting in Sean's range and making him back up a lot and circle off. He definitely had his moments, so I don't think his stock is down by any means. Um, like you said, I'm curious to see what's next. He's very young, very talented. Um, so we'll see who they give him next, and we'll kind of see how that goes. I mean, maybe if he fights like a Cheeto Vera, that's a good matchup. I don't think we've seen that before. There's a lot of big fights in that division, and he's still up there.
My last stock up is Alex Perez with the round one KO. He did a
It's
good job.
it's good to see Perez bounce back, man. And he stopped Johnson on the feet, and
Oh yeah,
that was insane. Charles Johnson is a dog and has a chin, bro. He was going to go all the way out on a shield. He kept getting back up, and they just no more damage. It was too many
he fucked that
unanswered
boy up.
strikes. Yeah, it
Oh
was
yeah,
bad. It was good. I feel like I haven't seen Perez get a win in a minute. So honestly, that was nice to see. That's somebody that's been around the sport now for a long time. Flyweight, dude. Flyweight is the most exciting division in the sport. I hate to say it, but it's no longer the heavyweights. You don't see boring flyweight fights. They always come to scrap. It's always fast paced. The grappling is amazing, and it's high level shit. And Alex Perez is one of those flyweights that is very entertaining and fun to watch. So
yes sir. Uh, you got any other stock ups you want to talk about before we get to these stock downs?
I think oh man, I'm gonna struggle to say the name, but Josh. I think Josh, the former 49ers player, left the NFL to come do a real man sport, and I think that his stock is way up. You found the post fight interview cringe, right? Was it
Oh yeah,
cringe?
that was fucking horrible.
You didn't
Don't
enjoy it
ever
in the
don't ever
slightest.
say no shit like that again, bro. And he also was never actually in the NFL. He was on the practice squad,
It's the same
and he
thing,
was
right?
never drafted. He never played a game. So was he really on the team?
But he did like high school NFL, right?
Was he high school NFL? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. All right, well, moving to this.
I thought the post fight was
No,
nice.
it was
It
a
was different.
horrible. It was a horrible fucking Macho Man
Brittany
impression.
Griner is a man. Come on, dude.
That's some shit I would have said when I was 15 years old, not 40 like he is.
At least pushing 30, by the way. But at least I mean, he's entertaining. He's trying to be entertaining. He's a very talented heavyweight. Obviously he is undefeated,
He
and
did a good job. I like that little middle finger walk off he did. That was fucking hilarious.
dude's a fucking character, bro. We'll be curious to watch his next fights. I'm definitely excited to see what the future holds for him. Hopefully, they don't call him back up to the NFL and we keep him here. But we'll
Yeah, I
see.
don't think there was ever a threat of that ever happening, buddy.
Yeah, if the Baltimore Giants need a linebacker, they might call him.
Oh god. All right, stock down. I only have one fighter in this stock down, and it's Derek Lewis.
Absolutely,
I think he's
absolutely.
fucking done for.
We
He's
say
the
this.
only fighter I wrote down for this.
So we actually have the exact same pick on that. I have nobody else on there but Derek Lewis. But my thing is with Derek is Derek will lose like this, and Derek will come back and brutally KO somebody. I mean, it's a cycle, bro. It's a Derek Lewis cycle.
I don't like
Uh,
the cycle.
I mean, but he is 40 years old. I wonder how long he can do this. He looked terrible. He looked very flat. He had no movement at all. He kept spamming that jumping kick that he's not athletic enough to throw without jumping off the
He
ground.
gave up like fucking Nick Diaz did against Robbie Lawler, bro. That's exactly what it reminded me of. I was like, this motherfucker just pulled a Nick Diaz on our ass, bro.
I
It
hate
was
using
horrible.
I hate using the quit word, man. I hate,
He
but
quit.
he was not there. I have no
He
idea.
didn't even get clipped, if I remember that, when he fell down. And he
Very,
just sat there. I don't even think he got hit.
very disappointing for somebody that Trump absolutely loves. Trump's favorite fighter, I've heard, and should be on the White House card. Now
Fuck that.
I don't
Fuck
even think
Trump.
they're not even going to let him on the lawn. Like fuck, it's bad.
They don't let any of those type of dudes on the lawn. Apparently, might shoot them.
Like you said, oh Jesus Christ! Like you said, the stock's way down. But how do you feel about Derek Lewis versus Josh, the guy we just talked about? How about we
I
go
would
ahead and
be
throw Josh in
I would
there?
be perfectly content if I never saw Derek Lewis fight again.
Wow, you're not
That
going to
was
miss the
dog
Black
shit.
Beast. Just such a
Not
character,
after that
man. Legend of the
performance, man.
sport, the most
There's got
knockouts.
to be more than being a character in the sport. You got to fucking come in there to fucking kill somebody, bro.
Well, you got to think too. I was at Derek's last win in Nashville, main event of the fight night, and he got a KO win over Towson, and now he dropped this and Towson Teixeira, man. People forget, man. People forget, man. But Derek Lewis, he's closer to done than we think. I mean, 40 years old. I'm curious to see how he comes back from this, if he does it all. If he chooses to retire, I'm okay with that as well. I mean, but what sucks is heavyweight division is the weakest division in the UFC, as we know. Um,
Yeah, it's not the same feeling as it used to.
no, like I said, flyweight is more exciting at this point.
I like
Heavyweight,
bantamweight too.
oh yeah. Honestly, every division but the heavyweight right now is pretty awesome. And heavyweight's uncertain right now. I mean, you have Tom Aspinall who just had a second surgery on his eye or injections. And we have no idea what's going to happen with the heavyweight division. Is John coming back to fight Alex at the White House? Is that
Or
going to be
Alex in
something?
that bitch. Alex will carry the heavyweight division for a decade, bro.
If I saw Alex knock out John at the White House, it would be the greatest fucking moment of my life. I absolutely hate John Jones. I think he is a piece of shit.
If he knocked out John Jones, would you admit that it was better than the Gaethje fight?
No.
You wouldn't. If Alex Pereira knocked out John Jones cold, you would not say it was a better fight than Gaethje versus Patty.
Well, because you go, great fights, great KOs, great moments. So I don't think him and John Jones are going to have a
So how
fucking
was a
field day.
4-1 fight? Would you scored it one of the greatest fights of all time?
It was more back and forth than you realize. I mean,
It
Patty really
wasn't.
loved Landon a lot. Patty had those uppercuts. He honestly had Justin covering up a couple times and had him really badly
Then
hurt.
how can you give it a
Um,
4-1
and Patty
if it
just
was
bit
so
down on the
close?
mouthpiece and went forward. I was absolutely oppressed and amazed by Patty just being a dog. I didn't think that Scousers really had chins like that. And that motherfucker,
Bro, we've seen this already. The Scousers don't get knocked out.
nah, we
He's
really see
he's
it this time.
you didn't believe him, bro.
I guess Taporia can put that to the test one day, but fucking,
Oh, Tapari
Gacy,
would fucking sleep his ass.
what,
I
Patty?
promise you that. Yeah, he would sleep Patty easily.
I don't know, man. He's a little sausage. I don't know.
Well, all right, let's move into the next one. The controversy corner,
The robberies. I mean,
the robberies.
yeah, you're saying one's a robbery that I don't, but we can agree that the Rose fight was a robbery.
Rose and Song were robbed, and an
Okay.
investigation needs to be launched onto Dana White and the UFC.
If anybody is watching this, please, for the love of God, leave a comment and tell me if you agree with Larry on this pick. And I'll upload this as well because I haven't seen anybody else have it that way.
That's crazy, bro.
And what does Sean O'Malley do to you, bro? You're American. You're not fucking Asian.
So because I'm American, I have to just like the American fighters. Fuck that shit,
No,
bro.
bro. Like you're leaning
Sean
towards
O'Malley
like
is a fucking cornball, bro. I don't want to see him anymore.
you're probably the only person on the side of the world that had Song winning that fight. Like nobody else agrees.
My pick was actually Suga. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying you thought the Song won overall, that he won the fight, and I
He
had
did.
2-1 for Sean O'Malley. But maybe I was surrounded by biased commentary, biased friends. Maybe I'll watch it back and we'll
You're
see.
surrounded a bunch of fucking yes man.
Hey, Spoon was rocking a Sean O'Malley t-shirt. Shout out my boy Jay Spoon.
Well, looks like this episode is going to be a lot shorter than we thought it was going to
I
be.
know.
We got a couple segments left,
Still not
but
bad.
yeah. Other than the robberies, it wasn't really much controversy. Maybe the eye pokes from Gaethje,
There was a lot of
and
nut shots,
but
eye points
Patty hit him in the fucking balls.
at the very end of the fight too. But it happened, I believe, round 4 as well. There was a lot of fouls in that fight.
There was, but
A
that's just
lot.
what it is when you get two dogs in there. When you get two dogs in a cage, it's going to get dirty.
That's what I said. Nobody did that shit intentionally. It was just a scrap. A lot of shit was moving, and the fouls were happening in these chaotic moments, and the ref didn't see it. And it wasn't, Justin doing it on purpose or Patty doing
Well,
it
I
on
think the second
purpose.
eye poke on that Justin did to Patty, I don't think it was as blatant as the first one. It kind of slid off the side of his eye. I don't think it went directly into his eye.
Yeah, I agree. I
That's
mean,
when
it
he
wasn't.
winced and kind of fell down, and that's when Gaethje started hitting him.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose by any means, but it was the worst one. It was the thumb in the eye. I mean, it was kind of bad. I mean, I
Oh
thought
yeah,
they were going to stop the fight. And like you said, I mean, a lot of fouls in that fight. Nut shot at the very end. They pointed to the ground. Somehow we got a nut shot in there. Just a fucking scrap, man. Nobody quit. They could have took the easy way out, and you've seen people kind of say, "I don't want to go back out there after getting poked in the eye or getting hit in the dick." Um, and they just kept fighting, bro. Patty's a beast, man. I'm excited to see what's next for Patty. Justin Gaethje is Justin Gaethje. Death taxes and Justin Gaethje putting on an exciting fight. So
yes sir.
those three things are certain in life.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, let's move into this last segment then.
Mm.
Closing thoughts on the card.
I thought it was a great card. I think I really wanted to look at it from the perspective of a lot of people are watching this that have probably not really watched the sport before. And I think that we gave them a great introduction to what mixed martial arts is. And I really did like when they started the main card, when they had Bruce introduce Paramount Plus and they kind of dropped that curtain around the octagon. Stuff like that, super cool. Um, from a hardcore fan of like 5 years now, I'd say the production quality was better. The lighting in the arena was different. The cameras were a little bit different. I will say one thing that I did not like. I tried out the multi view. I don't know if you tried that out.
Yeah, I did.
When we did it, so what it was is we had the regular broadcast on the top left, and on the right there was a camera angle that was just very slightly different, very slightly.
It
And then
just missed the ticker on it. That's all it was. It was the same exact camera angle, but with the
yeah,
ticker gone. That's
E-
it.
Exactly. And then on the bottom, I did like the bottom deal. I like that you have the coaches' corners
Yeah, that was interesting.
because when you have those moments, those holy shit moments of thrill and agony, it's going to be very cool to see that. But the top two, like I get having the regular broadcast, but why can't we have like a ref cam or
That's what
something?
I thought that was gonna happen. I thought I read somewhere that there was gonna be like a ref cam,
They had them
but
on. They had them on because they showed it during replays at times, but they didn't use it on the multi-view. And I really hope that they'll look back at that and say, "Oh, we need to fix that,"
yeah,
because I immediately
hope they
turned
do
that
as
back
well.
off. I turned it back off within 5 minutes. I was like, I can't watch like this.
That's exactly what I did. I was like, yeah, this ain't it. Just switch back to the regular one.
Um,
But yeah,
But my final thoughts is great card. I think that increasing the bonuses and offering 25 for every finish, I feel like that gave the prelim some hunger, and that's why we saw all those finishes. And I just think that the goal this year for them is to put on the most exciting fights possible. And I think that they're in the right step of doing that. When you're talking about $100,000 can go to anybody that has performance of the night, fight of the night. You could be a prelim fighter, your first fight ever in the UFC, and you could walk away with 100K if you play your cards right. That is absolutely life changing money for some people on top of your base salary, which honestly might not be a lot, but when you're talking $100,000, that is a lot of fucking money. That's more than what I'll make in the next 2 years combined, probably at this rate. Um,
pro bitch.
so the card was great. The fighters looked hungry. I think that we're walking away from this card with America finally taking a dub. Sean O'Malley back in the win column. Justin Gaethje back in the win column. There's a lot of big fights that were set up from this, and like you said, only one fighter's stock dropped. And I think that was Derek Lewis, and I do agree with that. Everybody else did great. Excited for next week. I mean, this was great. So, what was your thoughts on this card overall?
Give me your rating first out of 5 for the whole card.
Out of five, I'll go 4.5 out of five.
Okay. Well,
What
yeah,
if
my closing thoughts on it. Thought it was a really solid card. Um, Besides the robberies, really, in my opinion, I feel like those were the only things that held it back a little bit. Maybe a little bit in the main event with the fouls and stuff, but other than that, I'd probably give this whole card a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, that's fair rating. I wish that the main would have had. If we would have got a Sean O'Malley like KO, kind of blew the roof off, that would have been phenomenal. And then we had the fucking goddamn war, and you're like, okay, this
It
is
started off really hot, three straight first round KOs. Like I
yeah.
was like, this is about to be fucking insane. This card's gonna be crazy. But
I
it kind
think
of dipped back down a little bit. Fell back down to earth. But the
I
main event was really good. The co-main was really good. Can't
yeah.
complain at all.
I think the women's fight being a robbery, and then Derek Lewis just really having a fucking awful performance. Sorry, Derek. Um, I think
Yeah.
that's what brings it down to maybe that 3.5 or 3, like you're saying. I was just very happy with how it ended. That was the best ending we could hope for, especially for somebody like me that wants to see new fans come in and enjoy the sport and say, "Hey, I want to come back and watch this next week." That was exciting, and thank you to Patty Pimble and Justin Gaethje for giving us such an amazing fight. And I wonder too if that affected Patty's mindset going into this fight, the pressure of all the eyes watching this and all the new fans, and saying, okay, I don't want to be Hamzat, against fucking Drakus, and I don't want to be Islam against Jack Della Maddalena. No respect to those fighters, but that's not. If that was the fight, the headline this card, and you were watching this for the first time, you'd be like, I'm not coming back next week. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But instead, you got a war, and you're like, this shit was exciting. I'm coming back next week, and I'm gonna watch fucking 325.
Oh
So,
yeah.
shout out to them. Shout out to Patty. Honestly, it was really great. Great way to start off the year, like you said.
Yes, sir. Well, that'll do it for us today. Meet us back here next week for UFC 325.
And maybe the Sean lookalike will be back. We will see. If not, we are
He
looking
won't be.
to get Conor McGregor on here. So please stay tuned. Okay.
Yes, sir. Hey, peace out.
All right, bro.